Hey everybody, it's Madison Cunningham here. Hope you are doing well. As promised, I'm going to do my best to teach you how to play Pin It Down. A few weeks ago I taught a lesson on Instagram Live and couldn't find a way to upload it. So now I just decided I would redo the lesson. So thank you for your patience. Before we begin, the first thing you should know about this song is that it's in an entirely different tuning than standard. It's actually standard 2 whole steps down. So C standard, so you're going to want to have a guitar with thick strings or a neck that can hold the strings up and the intonation. So just to let you know, the strings will be C, F, A sharp, D sharp, G, and C. And for those of you who went to music school, you'll know that C is a flat key, so it would actually be C, F, B flat, E flat, G, C. But for the sake of what your tuner is going to tell you, it will read C, F, A sharp, D sharp, G, C. So in case that's helpful. And for now, just so we can make things clear, I'm going to refer to these strings as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So your first string, second string, third string, fourth string, fifth string, sixth string, so that we don't start to confuse ourselves with maybe calling this an A string, and so on and so forth, since it's changed. So the first thing that I will go over with you guys is how to play the riff. I'm going to break it down really simply and play it slowly for you, so you can rewind it as many times as you need. Once you get the first shape of the riff down, the shape essentially continues up the neck. So I'll show you what I mean. So we start with the low first string. Then the next half of the riff is on the 5th fret, first string. So all 3 notes will be on this fret. And here's the next note, which is on the 7th fret. So and then it'll carry up on the 7th fret. See how that's the same shape? There you go, move my finger so you can see that. So and then you're just going to slide your ring finger up to the 11th fret on the 2nd string. So I'm going to play it slow again. Cool, now I'm going to play it fast for you. You can rewind that as many times as you want. Make a little slide from the 9th fret to the 11th. It's very subtle, so you can barely hear it, but it's there. And that's another thing to note. Sometimes I'll end on the C octave in order to establish the next section, and in order to end the riff cycle. So this is the beginning of the song. There's that octave again. Then that establishes that I'm going to go into the verse. So once you know the riff, the beginning riff, then you know the whole verse. That's all I'm playing, is this the whole time. And one other thing I wanted to add was in the stylings of the way and the feel in which I play the riff, I add what's called ghost notes, which means this. I add those intermittently to make it kind of feel a little bit more groovy, as if it was like a drum part or something. That's the way I'm thinking of it, at least. Or maybe the way a bass player would attack a line. So. Sometimes I'll add this note underneath as well. Or on top, I guess. Gives it a little more color than just... So there's your first half. There's your intro and your verse. Then to get into the chorus, I'll show you. This is a bit of a stretch for your fingers. So I'm going to start. I'm going to try and break it down as slow as I can for you. I'm going to start with my pinky, 3rd string on the 11th fret. Then I'm going to put my pointer on the 4th string on the 7th fret. So I'm going to play those at the same time, these two notes. The next half, I'm going to put my ring finger on the 9th string, or on the 9th fret on the 2nd string. See, I'm going to play this note on the ring finger right after these notes. So I just move it down. This note stays the same, but I move the pinky down to the 9th fret. And I'm going to make this chord. This C chord with a 3rd in the bass. So I'm going to play that for you again. Another thing that's important to know about this section is the song goes from a measure of 4 to then it goes into a new time signature, which is in 7. So that's important to know when you're trying to play it. The drummer plays it to where it's a seamless transition, and sometimes it's hard to hear that it actually changed, but that's kind of the beauty of it. It's not supposed to be too much of a mind warp. So I'm going to play it for you at normal speed. Now it's when it switches back to 4. So. I'll explain that walk down to you. So after that, I can't pin it, I can't pin it down, I can't pin it. We're back in 4. Now, see this chord that I played that we landed on right here? Take that 2 whole steps down, take that 1 whole step down. You were here, now you're going to go here. The next chord below that will be this. These 2 are barred, and it's going to be the same 1 whole step down. Now here's major. This is the shape of the first chord. And this last one is just barred all the way. It's barred on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th string. So here we go. Here's the first note we come down from. Here's the second one. So of course that's played incredibly slow. It's going to go fast, almost, it's played kind of in a way that you can't hear all of those notes perfectly defined, but I wanted to slow it down so you could see exactly what they were. So here we go. I'll play the whole chorus for you. Remember that walk down is just this. I usually will end on that that C chord, which is actually, for those of you who are in the mind of standard, which would actually be an E shape. Also, another thing that's important to note is that if your strings are lighter, even if they're heavier, if you're just tuning down to this low of a tuning on like a telly, like I have here, it's going to be really, really hard to avoid this buzz. So try lightening your attack on this low C note so that you don't get too much of a buzz out like that. Although I have to say, sometimes I think that's kind of cool if you savor it and you use it in the right moments. So with that being said, when you get to the end of that walk down, try a bit of a lighter touch on this low C string. Okay, so now we've done intro, verse, chorus, and the next part is just back to the intro, which we know. Oh, here's something that's a little bit different from the first intro to the second intro, is that I play a little line, which you can do or not do. It doesn't really matter. So it'll go like this. Kind of make a little blues change there, which I'm not really one to do that too often, but sometimes it's appropriate. Here's the second riff. I'll play that one more time for you. So watch that as many times as you need. Then from there, I go on into the next verse. When you looked at me, were my defenses drawn? Was I cutting through the floor I was standing on? This cold-blooded pride in me won't go down quietly, and I'm standing right where I thought I would never be. Oh, that's way down low. Okay. Then we go back into that chorus. I can pin it down, I can pin it. I think we've been here once before. The walk down, I think we've been here once before. Now we go into the bridge. So to start the bridge, I usually put my hands in formation for that C chord, which is usually an E shape. So I kind of I place my hands here for this next part, but I only play the low C first. So here's an open note, the top note. Here's an open note, which is going to be string 5. So open note, string 5. Then I'm going to put my pinky on string 5, fret 2. Then I'm going to slide it to fret 3, and then open string on string 6. So here we go. Slow. Then I'm going to put my middle finger on what would usually be a G, the starting of a G shape in standard. So I'm going to put my middle finger on string 1, fret 3. Then I'm going to use this open string on string 4. Then I'm going to put my pointer finger on fret 2, string 5. Sometimes I'll just put it on my pointer finger on string 6, fret 2. And then I do that again. There's the first half of the bridge. So I think the way that's easiest to establish it is, there's so many riffs in this song, so it's hard to distinguish them sometimes, but for the sake of the bridge, there's going to be bridge, riff 1, and riff 2. So we just learned riff 1. One more time. And this is probably the fastest moving part of the song. So this is riff 2 of the bridge. And then you start riff 1 again. Let me break down riff 2 for you. So it's going to start with your pinky, and you're going to slide from string 2, fret 2 to fret 4. So remember that chord that we played up here? We're going to kind of form that again. See that? Play that one more time for you. Okay, then we go back to riff 1. So this part is usually played twice, right? Before going back to riff 1. The whole thing circles about 3 times, and on the 3rd time that this guy comes back, we're going to play the 3rd time, we're going to play the time extra. This is the sort of walk down riff that leads us into the breakdown. Just 2 notes on fret 7, strings 4 and 5. I'm going to do that again. We're just walking it down, 2 notes the whole time. And you bar these 3 strings, strings 4, 5, and 6. Play that fast for you. that section, that might be the most complicated section. So good luck to you on that. And again, rewind as many times as you need. So let's see. Let me play that whole section for you. Here's riff 1. Riff 2. Riff 1. Riff 2. Riff 1. Last time, we're going to add an extra one this time. 1, 2, 3. Here's the walk down. Now the breakdown happens. Drummer's playing. Last verse, the pain that we hold so dear looks so small and made from here when we're standing right. When we thought we would never be chorus, I can't pin it, I can't pin it down, I can't pin it, but I think we've been here once before. I'll admit it, I'll admit it now, I'll admit it, but I think we've been here once before. I think we've been here once before. There you go. And that is the breakdown of Pin It Down. I hope you enjoyed watching and learning this song. I would love to see what you do with it and how you make the song your own. Thank you.